Hello friends, my name is David Alexander Cantu, and today I'd like to share with you 3 ways that learning a language can improve your life. It can improve your mind, superpower your mind, it can add to your sense of self, and it can also expand your spirit. Let's get into it. Let's start with the mind. Well, our mind is our machine, our cognitive machine. How we think is largely based on language. If we train our mind, if we have an awesome mental workout by learning a language, well, we are training our mind, and that affects other areas of your life. Let me give you an example of this. So, for example, in German, the word, if I wanted to say a simple sentence such as I want to play football with my friends after school, in German it would be Ich möchte nach der Schule mit meinen Freunden Fußball spielen. And if you translate word for word how the sentence is structured, it would be I want after school with my friends football play. Well, as you can tell, this is mental gymnastics. I have to change how I think. I have to change how I organize my ideas in order to speak German. And you see, that mental process, that training, mental training, will spill over to other areas of my life. Scientists have reported that learning a language can help their thinking, their scientific thinking. It can help them in their work, in their scientific work. Musicians have also said numerous times that learning a foreign language can help their musical talent, can help them musically. So whatever you do, whatever your job is, training your mind, getting a mental workout can add to whatever thing you do in your life. Another aspect is the memory. Well, we don't use our memory nowadays. We have our phones and we use it for everything. We don't have to remember anything. Well, even though it's good, it's very convenient, our memory is affected by it. Well, by learning a language, we get to train our memory, and in the long run, we can prevent such diseases such as Alzheimer's. A very interesting study. Look it up. How Alzheimer's can help prevent Alzheimer's disease. I'm not a scientist. I respect scientists, but I found that study. Check it out. Now let's move on to the next one. Your sense of self. Well, this was very interesting. I will subdivide this sense of self into 2 parts. Okay, your personality and then your body. So your personality, well, who we are, how we present ourselves to the world is affected by the language. I'll give you an example right now. I'm going to speak to you in Spanish. Notice how my way of acting changes a little bit from the typical American direct way to the Latin American, the Mexican, Spanish kind of. Entonces ahorita les estoy hablando en español. Y claro, estoy exagerando un poquito, ¿verdad? Para poder explicarme la situación. Pero, por ejemplo, cuando hablo español, siento que como que hay ritmo, como que siento más calor, más sensualidad, no sé, o sea, está muy, muy interesante. So you see, in that sense, you saw how, even though I'm still the same person, I'm not schizophrenic, I do adapt to the language. And learning Spanish does help me express myself in other languages as well. It's a great, great tool to help your personality evolve and get a different dimension to yourself. The second one is your body, and especially your voice. So our voice, and our everything that has to do with speaking, whether it's our throat, our nasal passages, our mouth, our tongue. We're talking about thousands and thousands of muscles here that are used differently when we speak a different language. So we get to tune our vocal cords. And well, why do that? Well, how you speak is how you will be treated. More than we spend a lot of money on how we look. That's great. That's very, very important how we look. But speaking, is of utmost importance when we're trying to present ourselves to the world. It will affect our relationships, our job, our business prospects, everything, our friendships, everything. How we speak will affect everything. So by learning a different language, we get to train our body and especially our vocal cords, our facial expressions, in order to improve and to project a better person, a more complex person to the world. Now, the last aspect that we're going to talk about is the spirit. This is very hard to talk about because it's intangible. But let me give you a few examples here. Well, a language is the doorway to a culture, and a culture is the doorway to a people. Now, all over the world, different cultures have different ways of living, have different secrets to living a better life. And by learning the language, we almost get to hack into their way of thinking, and we can extract and we can learn from them. Every single person and every single culture, every single part of the world can teach us something. And so when we learn a language, a different language, we get the key to penetrate the culture and to learn from it and to incorporate all of these aspects, all of these elements of the culture into our lives. Let me give you a few examples here. For example, in let's say East Asia, Japan, Korea. I lived in Korea. If I wanted to say hello to someone, I'd be like, 안녕하십시오. 제르문다비드입니다. 반갑습니다. So you see, that's very respectful. It's very reverent, and you see that's a very, very polite way of saying hello. The bowing, the intonation, all of that is part of the culture. And when I lived in East Asia, and when I visited Japan and China and Japan and Korea, and I learned that to respect people a lot, that human dignity, that reverence towards people who are older than us. That's a great skill. Also, when let's say Germans, they have a very, very organized. Well, you see that helps. And look at German companies, very, very organized, very efficient. Italian, French, you see they are very. It's artistic. Quand je vous parle français, c'est de l'art. C'est pas juste des mots comme ça, c'est pas une machine, mais c'est une expression artistique. It's an artistic expression, and those elements are infused into the language. And so it's absolutely amazing how by learning a language, you can expand your spirit, and you can expand your way of thinking, and you can learn, almost download elements of other countries and other people that can help. Okay, so if you learn a language, you get to improve the spirit, first and foremost, the mind, and the self. And this, my friends, would help every single aspect of you. And I believe that it can help every single person on the planet.